D thing filter on Instagram, and it doesn't look too bad. Um, it's very orange. It's very orange. Here, I'm not using any filter on maybe I should. I'm not using any filter on YouTube, and I'm very white, but then that's the lighting. Good morning. Um, and let's get the sound going here. I need to get a mic, maybe, hopefully, one day. Oh, God, too many fucking things. Stop, Mary. Over processing. Oh my God. Emotional damage. It was crazy out there today. It's only the 15th. The G7 summit doesn't start until I think the 15th or whatever, the 14th. And man, Calgary's on high alert. So yeah, the G7 summit, the G7 summit. Whoa, you think that would be easy to say? Is June 15th to the 17th in Kananaskis. And they have already been practicing, like Crowchild's been blocked off and they're doing their parade thingy with looking with all these SUVs all the way down. Today, I don't know what the hell. They must have blocked off downtown somewhere. It's funny. Calgary's a funny city. You know, if one area is blocked or if something happens, especially in like Crowchild or something, if one area is blocked, what happens? Everything gets blocked off. Now, for me to merge on from Crowchild from my street to Crowchild I just had to wait till the light changed. Usually it doesn't happen, but it was bumper to bumper to bumper. Now, Thursdays are usually a busier day. Why is that? Because it's a lot of times it's people's Fridays and it's the day they show up to work downtown. It is, I mean, and Fridays are usually quite slow because Flex Fridays, and there's a lot, downtown is dead. Downtown's dead on a Friday usually. So, yeah, just telling you a little bit of the 411 of the crazies that's in my life right now. Man, I just, when they say inflation is bad, I mean, it's bad. We try and go to the cheapest stores to get things, and I'm sorry. It is when you are on such a tight budget, holy shit. So that's why I have Buy Me a Coffee. I know everybody's in the same boat, but right now there's a lot of extra expenses that we are looking at that we have to do for the Guru Mama and to keep the Guru Mama going. So Buy Me a Coffee is up there. And if you are needing a Visa MasterCard link, just let me know and I can send you one. Um, there's also the Sacred Summer series. Now, I am pushing this series because I really want people to join. It is $100 for the 3 months or $50 for the 1 month. And the Sacred Summer journey, I believe, is a transformational journey. And even when I didn't think much of my May journaling for people, the feedback I got from people was amazing. The feedback that I got of the people, the ones that joined and stuff, on how it was very transformational for them, how it was important to them. It really allowed them to do things differently, especially when it came around journaling. Totally honored with that. And I find every time I'm doing something like this, like the Sacred Summer series, something comes out of it. And it's not only that you grow, I grow with it. And in creating this series, honestly, in creating this series has been fun. Like it is fun. It is you get a booklet for each month. So I'm working on the June booklet. And in each booklet, it comes in with a message, a monthly overview. I let you know, I do a little welcome thing, I do a welcome video. And then we go through the guiding and, guiding you through the month. And each day has something new. So whether it's a meditation, the welcome letter to the meditation on the second day, and then I write out the meditation for you. So you have the meditation. It's not like, oh, the meditation's only mine, but you have the meditation. So if you want to use that meditation, you can use that meditation in something you want to do. If you are having a workshop and things like that. So I write out the meditation for people and so that they have it. And then we go into different, I guess, today's explorations, journal prompts, um, just different things of invitation, things to look at, making it more fun and joyful as you're going through the summer, and not just being a drone. Because I feel like this summer, and especially with the energies, uh, the intensity is there, and we don't want people to just become drones. We want you to be interactive. We want you to have fun going to the dollar store, picking up some stickers, creating putting stickers in your journal book. I love doing that. Or that wasabi tape. Patty, I ran out of all my wasabi tape. I got to get more wasabi tape. um Doing things like that is, it's fun. It just brings up, I don't know, it just lightens your day. And just putting out, what do you want to do this summer? I mean, one of the things I really want to get to do this summer is go to the Okanagan. I really want to get to the Okanagan this year. And so that's part of my plan. How it's going to happen, I have no idea. One, my vehicle needs brakes desperately. So it's probably going to be sitting for a while because I won't be able to drive it because we need brakes. It's one it's one of those things. I have mechanics. I know people have given me names of beautiful mechanics. I have mechanics. It's just the affordability, right? I mean, I don't want to just take my vehicle and somebody fixes it and I can't pay for it kind of thing. So to me, those are sort of important things. And plus, we're not too sure what exactly, it's an old vehicle, right? So we'll see. But that's part of my summer series, right? Wanting to create these things, how it's going to be created. What are the things that I want to put forward? And a lot of times we don't do that. 1% of the population writes things down. That's it. 1%. 1%. And the other 99%, or there's a percent of, I think it's like 10%, write it down and forget it. The 1% go back and read it and tweak it, right? And that's the whole thing, is like to go back and tweak it. And and the thing is that when you are wanting to create a plan, you may feel bogged down, or you might get like, oh, nothing's happening, or this is really fucked up, and oh, this is so hard. But that's why you go back and tweak it. That's why you go back and do this. This is why, for me, it's like, yeah, do I want to continue promoting this? Yeah, I do want to. I get this. Yes, I have to, and to get it out to people, and so that they can create this. And this series is something that definitely I can use again. Definitely you can use again. Um, Learning how to feel radiant in your skin and move, and bringing in lots of shimmery shiny items is important so that we can create some beautiful crafting and begin to craft a lot of what's happening. I mean, this, as we're going in and moving up to the summer solstice, and I'm thinking of, what do I want to do for the summer solstice? Because for the past 2 years, the summer solstice has been a very transformational time for me. Last year, in around, I'm coming up to my 1 year anniversary of my accident with the car. And so I had an accident and I ended up not having a vehicle for the whole summer. And not until I think closer to Christmas or something like that, I got the vehicle. My son got the vehicle. And a friend of his gave him Louise. So we got Louise. Louise is our vehicle. So we got Louise. So the summer, but that wasn't until December. So I had to, and I ended up working at Manitoba Muckluck starting in September. So summertime was very transformational. and the summer solstice brings that in. The year before that, um, I was working at a job for close to a year, but I was let go, fired, I guess. They had to find something to let me go. The thing is, I it wasn't that it wasn't that I didn't do anything. In fact, I won employee of the month, 2 months in a row. Like, I was on time, I did overtime, I was there, I did whatever they wanted, but it was that I was earning too much money and I was too outspoken with something. I know that's just so not me, right? Too outspoken. So that was the other reason why. So the summer solstice is very transformational. Things happen, there's a movement. I call it the spiral. And I talked a little bit about this on my TikTok today, wrote a post about it. It is entering into that spiral part in your life, and things happen, and it feels out of control. Now, the celestial configurations that dominate right now is really a lot of fire and a lot of air. And this is about dynamic and energetic atmosphere. This is scarcity of water in the chart right now. Not a lot of energy that's in Cancer, and that's not going to happen till like later on this month. I mean, Mercury's going to be going into Cancer, Jupiter's going to be going into Cancer, and then the Sun's going into Cancer. So right now, this is like with this scarcity, it's a where we're consciously cultivating emotional depth and empathy. So there's a lot of depth and empathy that's coming in, and Mercury's getting very close to Jupiter. And it's an alignment of communication, learning, pursuit of knowledge right now. Gemini's wisdom lies in curiosity, adaptability. It's an opportunity, time to engage in meaningful conversations and expand your intellectual horizons. And then we have the sun is trining over to the moon. And this is harmonious, it's the conscious self, the sun, and the emotional self, the moon. So it's fostering an inner balance. So we have this energy you know, of air, of trying to connect, trying to get that connection. And it is a favorable alignment. We still have those Jupiter squares over to the big dudes of Saturn and Neptune, and that's challenging what we're doing. It's the tension between expansion and restriction. And Uranus still comes in. Uranus is on the edge of Taurus, and it's erratic change, and change that is unexpected, that we don't know. Like, you think you know, but you don't know. That brings you to a totally different a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things. So this is really about us engaging that foster inner peace, meditation, journaling, navigating the days. I feel, trying to come into our grace, along with having discernment with everything. I mean, I've gotten pictures of people saying, look, there's this moon, and then there's this moon, and then the sun's over here. And I've seen these pictures, and I'm just like, okay, it's hard to know if they're true or not because of AI, because of a lot of different technologies that are coming forth and things that are being shot into the sky. Some of them look very fuzzy, you know, and you're just not sure. So there's a lot that's happening, and that brings us to feeling very unsure, very unsteady. Trade tensions with the US. The US has certainly doubled tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum, aluminium, if you want, for some of my European friends, aluminium, and prompting discussions on potential, uh, measures on, so we have these tensions that are happening. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the summit that's going on. That's why I'm thinking the Sacred Summer series is something that is need it. I think people need the spiritual guidance. I think people are looking for it. Even if they don't think they need it, I think they need it. What a motherly thing to say. I think you need it, even though you think you don't need it. But the reason why I'm saying that is because of the heavy tensions that are going on. Like a significant proportion of Canadians express a desire to reduce reliance on the US. Cool. Reflecting, growing concerns over sovereignty and economic independence. There's a lot to be said about that, and it is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. But we also have a prime minister that just spent more money than the last one, you know? And this is where it's like like, I wanna meet the people who actually voted for him and just sort of shout at them like, "Are you fucking stupid?" No, no, but we wanna come with peace and love, don't we? We don't wanna be slapping or throat punching anybody. But it's these are why these fears are coming up, is we don't have a strong enough person to really come in and take the reins. I don't know if, when I looked at Pierre's chart, does he have it? It is there. There is leadership definitely in his chart. He does have, you know, there is an alignment there for him to be PM, but there's something, I don't know, there's a stop or there's something there that I don't know if he has that gumption to really take the full reins and saying, "Let's get this road, let's get this show on the road. Let's get going. Let's do this." Right? The government has so much red tape. It's unbelievable in order to get things done. And that's all part of this untangling of energies astrologically. That's I'm just going by the astrology, people. I know some people are going to get upset and mad and angry with what I say, but I'm just saying, with according to the astrology, that's where we're at. We are in the throes of war. This is where we have leaders. Are they the leaders to lead us into war, right? Do they have it? I mean, we have Riccardi selling us out to the EU, really wanting us to join the EU, Canada to join the EU. Okay, what does that mean to join the EU and join the EU army? That's very interesting. Years ago I said alliances will change, and they definitely will. I don't think Poland's very happy right now that Germany is eh, gearing up with a lot of weapons right now. I mean, history in itself. We also have where France has tried to invade Russia before. I think it was in 1812. It didn't work well, you know? So this disruption, these alliances that are coming in that were already formed, maybe not in public, but they were formed. And they're there. So it's an interesting plot that is unfolding, and through the scheme of it all, and Jupiter expanding everything with Saturn wanting the control and wanting to make order in the chaotic war zone, right? Did you see that Greta Thornburg tried to go to the Gaza Strip? Oh my lord. That girl is not very smart. It's a war zone. Why are you going there? What the hell do you think you can do? Here she is going into a war zone. Does she not understand? And this is the whole thing, is that people, if they would actually look into, and I'm talking about the religion as a whole, the Islamic religion as a whole, and they look into what it means and what they say in the Quran and how they actually treat their women. And I'm not saying that there's not beautiful Muslims out there and everything else, and that they're really kind and loving and everything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying with the actual Islamic religion. Um, and I know I'll get feedback and people won't like what I'm saying again. I may even get these banned. But in the astrology, it's just showing that, people are waking up. There's an awakening here. We have this alignment that's coming in and saying, "Hey, this isn't working anymore. This isn't the alignment anymore." Um, Let me just Google something here. So, until recently, British Stonehenge was thought to be the world's oldest set of stones, but a recent discovery in Turkey has estimated it to be over 6,000 years old. So we have 31. So, okay, here's a little and it just drew me. Stonehenge was being built. Stonehenge was being built in around this conjunction with Aries, with Neptune and Saturn. How interesting is that? Really? I mean, here's this Stonehenge, that's what we call it. People may not have called that, but here's this sacred site being built 6,000 years ago, you know? And that's the whole thing. It's like when you go back to some of these ancient sites and you look at some of these sacred sites, this is where and then this oldest one, and you can go visit it. It's the Gobekli. It's Tepe from the Mesopotamian. It goes back to 9,500 years ago, which is interesting. So these places were being built, these monuments were there, but I just find it's like it was I don't know where I'm going with this, but I feel like there's an era or there's something that's there. And where this alignment was being is where we're at right now with this alignment with spirituality. There was a formation of a new spirituality. I mean, you're looking at Babylonian times, you're looking at, you know, getting information from the stars, the wisdom from the stars. What were the stars? What was the wisdom from the stars, coming in? I did a past life regression a few years ago and trying to figure out, as usual, trying to figure out why things are happening in my life. Anyways, did a past life regression. It took me all the way back to the times of the mammoth, and the mammoths were walking around. And I was the shaman, and I went to the hill, and the stars came down to talk to me. The stars came down to talk to me. And as they were talking to me, they were telling me of the great change is going to be happening. Are you prepared? And make sure that your people are prepared and get them into their boats, right? And you're going to be led. And we were led to some new islands that just appeared. So new islands that appeared, in these new islands that appeared looked like things like Hawaii or Fiji or somewhere, in the Pacific, where we migrated from, because it looked like we were in the north, but the north was it wasn't it wasn't cold. It wasn't cold. It was tundra, but there wasn't like snow and stuff like that. It didn't have that feel to it. It was more of a warmer type of climate, but was told that things are going to change and we had to move. And then moving to this new area and then passing my wisdom on to other people, and which was interesting in itself. But in that, the reason I'm bringing that up is just like the stars came down. And just like I feel the stars are coming down now, the star people are coming down now. Now that's what we call them because they came from the sky, and the sky, the stars. The stars is sort of like a fixed point. Planets are called because planets move. They're move. They did call them stars, but they moved, so they called them planets. Um, but the stars came down and talking to us, and I feel like this is what's gonna be happening now. We have this energy of the stars coming down to talk to us, the aliens giving us information. I don't think everyone is going to get the information. I think it's gonna be certain people that receive the information and certain people that can help to guide people to the new space, to the new land. And I feel like that's very much where things are moving. We're moving where we have to be prepared to move to a new land, be prepared to move to something new, whatever that is. And where Uranus is, and with this fourth turning that's coming in, this is getting us to really look at where is that movement going to go. Now, when Pluto was in Leo, Pluto in Leo, when it came in, along with that was a fourth turning as well. With that energy coming in, it was wanting us to create community or create certain groups, right? Harmony, it was about, coming together, that inner child, that play, having backyard barbecues and street parties. This was coming in from celebration. Now Pluto is in Aquarius. It's not about backyard parties and backyard parties and street parties or these types of gatherings. That's why you saw a lot of, because they had Pluto and Leo, older generation per se, older than me, uh, because when the elixir came out, it was like a party, right? Come and join us, be a part of the party, be a part of this, be a part of that. Come on, we'll give you a donut. That was very the party type of energy that was coming out, and that was Leo generation. And now we got the Pluto Virgo is like, no, we anybody who knows Virgos, they like a party as long as they're in control of it, or they're with their group. All right. Very exclusive. So Pluto Aquarius, there's an exclusivity to it. There's a secret to it. There is things that go behind, like the mad scientist type of energy. So kind of odd energies that are there. They're not in it to say, let's get everybody on the street to have a party. They're like, yeah, who's going to be there? Am I in a line with these people? Do I like these people? I know what's going to happen. That's Pluto and Aquarius. So people aren't so inclined. So when it comes to certain things and certain aspects that are coming forward for us, it's like a lot of discernment is happening. A lot of a way of looking at the world in a different way. And with Uranus moving into Gemini, it's going to get us to really look at things in new ways. Now, this G7 summit, I don't think it's not just talking about it's not just talking about trade. This is about security and how we are going to manage the security of our countries. And Trump holds the cards, whether you like him or don't like him. So there's a lot of card holding there with him. And that being said, this is where for him, because he is the big guns, and getting others to stand up, to get ready for this, right? To get ready for the activation. It's almost that, this gathering is very similar to a gathering just before World War II as well, and before the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And I feel like it's also when you look at what happened this week And the attack that happened in Russia was very as soon as I saw it, I thought of Pearl Harbor. That's exactly what I saw, and I went, "Holy shit, that's Pearl Harbor," right? But it was on Russian ground, so it's an opposite, right? So things are opposite in what they're happening. So you think, okay, what happened with Pearl Harbor? What happened? So yeah, they damaged most of the fleet for the whole Pacific. So the United States had to scramble and rebuild its whole fleet. It had to rebuild everything. So this was a call to action, a call to war. And we just saw the same thing, similar thing, a surprise attack on Russia. Pretty crazy. Something you didn't think of, right? Uranus at the end of Taurus. You wouldn't have thought that would happen to Russia. You wouldn't think that they would take out what 30% or whatever it is of their flight, and those are the ones that carry the bombers, right? So we have that's just been activated within the astrology, and the energy is being activated there. So there's this call, and we're going to see the call get activated as we go further into June, where things are really going to start to ignite. And as we move into this Cancer energy, there's going to be a lot of rushing. There's going to be a lot of emotions that are going to come forward. And Jupiter coming into Cancer is going to expand a lot of those emotions and want to have answers and want to, why are we going this way? What's going on? Jupiter coming into Cancer is really going to, I think, um, blow things out of the water. Just trying to find some of my stuff here. So Jupiter in Cancer, what does that mean? Do. Pulling it up. Oh, I might have broke it. But this is where we got to think of what Cancer is. So Cancer is the fourth house. Cancer has to do with home, family, values, children. So here we come. The sun comes in. It's summertime. We want to play. We want to get out there. We want to connect, right? Have some fun. Then we have, along with that energy, we also have Jupiter coming in there. So it wants to expand that, wants to bring that all together, wants to have that. But the thing is with Jupiter, every time Jupiter is in Cancer, or anybody who has Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter Cancer people don't stay home. They leave. So on average, any with people with Jupiter in Cancer, so Jupiter in Cancer is like, well, I don't want to stick around here. I don't want to stick around. I don't like this family. This isn't the family I want to be with. So there's a huge, and then Mercury coming in, there's this energy of saying, okay, are you going to connect? And this is where the sun and Jupiter connect. So bringing in that Sun Jupiter connection, which is a beautiful connection, but it's also coming in where the sun's in its fall position, because it's ruled by the moon. It's not a place where the sun really wants to be. And this is where Jupiter wants to expand things, wants to explore, wants to see things more, wants to look at things more, right? So the Jupiter in Cancer, like, it wants to expand, so it has family home roots. Um, so we have overprotectiveness, sentimental hoarding, emotionally and um, maternally. They may hold on to the past, so things coming up from the past, emotional overindulgence. So there's a lot to do with family loyalty. So you might feel like there might be a big push. So yeah, so Jupiter in Cancer. Um, well, the placement is really like deeply tied to home, roots, family, etc. It doesn't necessarily mean the person will stay physically close to those things. In fact, leaving home can often be a part of their soul journey. So you're going to see people leaving home, people moving, people are going to be, there's going to be like a pilgrimage or um this is where Cancer about emotional safety expands this. So sometimes that means leaving the nest in order to find or create a home that really resonates, especially if the one they were born in is restrictive. So you might find that you're being called to move somewhere else, to go somewhere else, not stay there. You're going to find that people are going to be relocated. So relocation of people. So people being relocated. Um, and this is also bringing in family lineage that has unresolved wounds. So there's emotional needs run deep, but are unmet. So healing the family line, so karmic family healing at this time is a huge one with Jupiter. So over this next year, that's what we're going to be seeing with Jupiter in Cancer. And this sun is wanting to highlight things and wanting to bring this, and Mercury's going to come in and wanting to give you the communication on how to do this. So more downloads coming in with this energy and moving in with this energy. Um, I'll post this um, information for you, or if you want it, just let me know. The Jupiter energy is going to be powerful, and it's going to be where people are. Yeah, I just get moving, mass movement of people and people being relocated. So there's definitely going to be a relocation of a lot of people with this energy. And I think that's part of the security that's coming in. Now, if you think about it, who did they relocate during World War II? I mean, the Japanese certainly weren't in California anymore. They moved them away from the coast. Same here in Canada. Anybody who is Japanese, they put them into camps. They were moved. And they were moved for a lot of the Japanese were moved to in Canada, were moved to the Kootenays and were put into camps in the Kootenays. And the ones in California, Oregon, and Washington were, I'm not sure which state they moved them to, but they moved them to another state and off that, and they took the land. So that's the other thing too, is taking up where land ownership, or you think that you have land ownership, you're not going to have the land ownership. It was already passed that Carney passed it, or it was in one of bill that you will not have no more than $10,000. So that's very Uranus and Taurus and the change when it um, comes to our banking system, comes to um, our currency and where the currencies are going. So there's a lot of changes, little changes, and this is where Pluto and Aquarius comes in and their secret. You're not knowing all of this. It sort of leaks out in different areas, or it's in very fine print that you don't read or you don't see. You're not paying attention, right? It's too much coming in. You're not paying attention. So this is where the grounding and everything comes in, and you have to come into the grounding. and if you're not coming into the grounding. This is where a lot more, especially when it comes to the skies and the aliens and everything being seen and optical illusions also happening. I think of that commercial um, that was in the 90s about the home hippo. Didn't you want a home hippo? And people like, were like, "Oh, look at we have home hippos? This is what they do?" No, this was telling you to pay attention. I mean, this was in the 90s and they're telling you about deep state, right? Pay attention to the advertising that's happening. Pay attention to what's going on. There is no home hippo, even though you would like to have a home hippo, right? So illusions, right? Coming up, wanting to have this and having those restrictions, those are going to come up over the summer, right? A lot of things where it's like, oh, well, I want to have it this way. I want to do it this way. So all of this sort of frequencies and transformations are coming forward with a lot of this energy. And whoa, boy, I can feel it because that's the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm getting into this. This is where I feel I can feel a lot of my head's getting very light and very dizzy. So, things that we can start to do in our lives with all of these frequencies is the mindful reflections. Begin your day with a moment of gratitude and intention. Focusing on qualities, clarity, and compassion and courage with your day. I found myself that I listened to some scriptures and stuff in the morning, and then I'm tootling around and I'm just like, hold on, you're not listening. That's what I got. You're not really listening. You just have it on as background noise. That's not the intention. That's not making it a proper intention. So I had to stop and then start to listen to what was being said. So be mindful with your communication. Harness that Mercury Jupiter conjunction by engaging the thoughtful and meaningful conversation. Listening actively and speaking with integrity is going to be an important piece. Do not, try not to jump off the deep end. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. This is creative expression. Channel the fiery energy into creative pursuits, whether through art, writing, or music, allowing your inner voice to be expressed authentically. However, that creative voice comes through for you. Meditation in the evening, and this is a big one for me, is starting to bring in the meditation for the evening. Coming into a place where you just don't turn the TV off or turn off TikTok or whatever and then go to sleep. No, this is to conclude your day with a calm practice, such as meditation, prayer. Go outside for a moment, connect with the energies of the moon. Allow yourself to be drenched in that sparkly, silvery energy, to reflect or express and cultivate your inner peace. This is just becoming into that oneness with everything and having that connection. So when things are feeling really crazy and out of sorts, know that this yearning that's calling you, that you're being called, that you're being called with to whatever that higher purpose is, and know that in being called to that higher purpose, that you're being led to something that's very beautiful, and not to be afraid of it. So if you're wanting to join my Sacred Summer series, let me know. Um, and I have a goal to get to for people to start to join my series and the things that I'm doing, because I want to create a huge community. That's what I want to do. I want to create this huge community. I want to create connections with one another and have us grow, and grow in strength and numbers. So I think it's important because that light, that divinity that you are planting into the ground, as above, so below, it brightens, it goes up. Many people find and they tell me, "Well, I'm too busy for this. I don't have time for this." And I'm just like, "Oh, wow. Okay. That's," but it's where you have to make time. And however that looks, you have to start making time for the spiritual journey and for the things that are being coming in and being written, the new. And in doing that, that means your voice isn't going to get lost. Um, and that's going to be an important piece because there's going to be a lot of loudness. We're already seeing a lot of loudness out there, but it's not that you're being louder or more obnoxious. Don't be obnoxious, but you're coming in with a passion and a truth and integrity and love, and that's what's going to shine above anything and everything, is that energetic being that is within inside of you, and you're just releasing it and allowing it out. There you go. I've been on here for 45 minutes. I think I've taken up a lot of your time, and I got to continue my journey of creating. So moon readings will be coming out soon. So the moon, the strawberry full moon. So I will be coming out with that. So that should be coming out probably over the weekend. Let's see how that's. Yeah, I have some appointments to go to tomorrow that I need to do for myself, I guess. Doctor's appointments and specialists I have to go see. So nothing too serious. Just the joys of the joys of joy. That's all. It's all good though. It's right as rain. Let's see, what is the energy? What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Whoa. The death card, but it's reversed. So death comes to all, but I feel like there's a stall. There's a stalling when it comes. The death card is ruled by Scorpio. So sometimes the death card doesn't. It's a card that people don't like. So this is where you have to bring your attention to potential negativity and things that are going on in your life and not neglect them. This is a period of great change and transformation. It comes in. It's saying it's going to happen, but this is going to be remaining detached from anything that's coming in. And the uninfluenced allows you to gain stronger sense of self while disconnecting from the negative energies that are around you. This is showing you things are going to erupt. Things are going to start getting crazy, but you got to disconnect from it. There's going to be an opportune time for you to focus on the well-being and the personal development. So that's coming in, but it's in the throes of everything going topsy-turvy. And yeah, you're trying to fight it. You're wanting to fight everything and say, no, stop fighting. Stop fighting it. Stop thinking that you have to be on guard all the time. Allow yourself to come into that center and that peacefulness and that zenness. I sent, it was from Kung Fu Panda, the little guy who is the guru dude for Kung Fu Panda. Anyways, and he's sitting there and he's meditating. He's like, come on, get this on. And it says Libra on it. And I just laughed because that's my son's a Libra and he hates to meditate because he goes, it makes him angry, things come up, information just makes him angry. And I feel like this is where it's like, okay, yeah, that anger has to come up, and there are temptations that may not be good for you in the long run. So perhaps you're going to find that people that you thought were good for you aren't going to be good for you. You thought certain things were good for you, they're not. So you might have to take a break from them, or you might have to sever ties from them. And this is what you're trying to fight. You're trying to fight to sever those ties. You don't want to sever those ties. You want, no, I'm going to stand my ground for this. No, it's time to let it go and not to do it, because we're heading on a new journey, a bright new journey. And we're not stupid. We're not where we haven't done journeys before, but we are in this journey of greatness and transformation and determination that's going to lead us to a new place, a new migration, a new world, place that we never thought we would be or go to. And it's coming in fast and furious, baby. There you go. Bring in your fluorite. Make sure you're doing some oat straw if you can. If not, today, I mean, last couple of days I've been doing ashwanga. Love my ashwanga. And yeah, have a blessed one, everybody. So we will talk to you all very soon. Let me know, DM me if you're interested in anything that I'm doing, or buy me a coffee. God bless. God is blessed. Bye bye.